Kitley, a clinical social worker and author of Myself, joins us now to talk about how to navigate these social settings if you're on a sobriety journey. Kelley, good morning. So as you know, a lot of
Good
us,
morning.
look forward to the bubbly toasts and the clinking the glasses over the holidays, but we're seeing a lot more people giving up alcohol. Talk to us about what's behind this trend.
Sure. Good morning. I love talking about this topic, especially during this time of year when many people do over imbibe and we live in a drinking saturated culture. And so when we do gather, there is always alcohol for the most part. And it is really important to give people permission to say, you don't have to participate. There are lots of other options outside of alcohol saturated drinks. There are mocktails that people are serving at parties, or lots of bars are also offering that option. And if that's not your thing, sometimes people feel really socially awkward or anxious if they don't have something in their hand. And so even just going up to the bar and asking for a tonic with a splash of lime and a splash of cranberry, that can be something that feels refreshing and also doesn't feel like you're neglecting yourself from participating.
Yeah, because it is tough. I mean, I've gone dry, for a month or so. And if I go to a family party or a friend's event, and everyone else around you is drinking, it's hard to say no when someone offers you a drink. But you're saying that there are other options and you can still hold a Coke or a soda or something, or a tonic and a juice in your hand to stay social. What about those who are on this sobriety journey and those who are experiencing anxiety? What's your advice to them in terms of how to handle these social settings?
Sure. So, first and foremost, thank you so much for being candid about practicing your own dry month. That's coming right up around the corner with people participating in dry January. But certainly, this can be a new time of year for people who are overly social and experiencing sobriety. And so, it is really important to seek some kind of support. Oftentimes we show up and might be the only person drinking at the party, or not drinking at the party, excuse me. And it's important to remember not everybody's looking at you. You're not that important.
Mhm.
Everybody's focused on their self. And that's a lot of what anxiety is in social situations. How am I going to be perceived? You don't owe it to anybody to have an explanation as to why you're not drinking. And actually, sometimes that can be amazing modeling experience for family or friends. And if you do feel comfortable, it can open up an awesome conversation as to why you might not be drinking this year.
So let's talk about dry January, because January is just a few weeks away. I
Mhm.
have friends who stick with it. They're pretty good about it, and some who, after a few days, are like, "Forget it. I'm going to go back into my routine." How do people? What is your advice for people who really want to stay dry for the entire month?
So it's really important that we set ourselves up for success. And a lot of times that first week of dry January isn't fun. You're feeling more tired. You've been used to drinking perhaps more so in December, which is why you want to go dry in January. And so it is really important that you schedule other healthy coping mechanisms during that time. We can't just strip ourselves from a behavior and not replace it with something that makes us feel good. So what I do suggest is people have an accountability partner. Go into it with somebody who might be interested in taking a whole health perspective going into the new year. And if you slip up, it's not like you can't get back on the wagon, so to speak, and start over. We live in this very black and white or all or nothing mentality sometimes during the new year. And so if you slip, call it damp January and try to get back on track. Some of my clients will try to practice moderation management or a damp January, where they might not give it up completely, but they're more mindful about when they're drinking and how much they're drinking.
Damp January sounds like a pretty good compromise, I must say. Kelley Kitley, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you if we don't see you before then.
You as well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kelley.